All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday afternoon Driver Appreciation Live. Coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona.
108 degrees still.
Only 100, right? It's cooled down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my name's Ken McBee. I'm the VP of Driver Retention.
I'm Jim Fitzsimmons.
All right. Glad to have you, Jim. Just today, our plan was just to go over how driver appreciation's going. It seems to be, we've had a full tent so far. At least we have some air conditioning, right?
Yep.
All the terminals.
Have to have it in Phoenix, so.
Exactly. All the terminals are having, for Monday through Friday, they have continental breakfast, they have a lunch, and then Tuesday through Thursday, there's food trucks at every terminal. Or here, there was full-on buffet, kind of, right? Not buffet, but, to go.
Yourself, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll jump into it. We said we would do a bunch of live questions. We have, I think, 16 to start out with, and then I would ask you to just drop your questions in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can over the next hour. Just keep you informed of what's going on with Swift. So I think we just jump right in. All right. First question. I've got my CDL, but not sure who to drive for. Why should I drive for Swift?
Hey, good question. And there's tens of thousands of people out there making that decision, every week probably. So, I know I could speak from my heart and tell you that Swift, in my opinion, is, if not the best, one of the best companies out there to work for. And to me, it's about the people that are here to support you, whether that's in the office, in the shop, outside in the outside terminals. We've got 29 terminals. We're adding 2 more first part of next year in Vegas and Mobile, Alabama. So we'll have 31 terminals out there to take care of you. We've got hundreds of more on-site facilities. But really think about Swift, we have everything. We have your traditional over-the-road. We have flatbed. We have dedicated. We have refrigerated, intermodal, port. I mean, it's like anything you could think of.
Every suite of service.
We got it. And that's one thing I try to share with their existing drivers is if you want to do something different or you want to be home more often, need to be home, nightly, whatever it might be, look at Swift first before you look someplace else, because chances are, we have that, what you're looking for already here at Swift.
That's what I came to Swift for, was opportunity. They have, even if it's not a driving position, there is non-driving positions, there's mechanic positions, there's all kinds of things that are going on here. So it's always good.
Yeah, and we make a big investment in our people. So our trucks are an average age of only 2 years old. We trade the trucks about every 4 years old. Right now, that'll probably get extended due to the microchip shortage everyone's probably aware of. So it's hard to get new anything right now, including trucks. But, we've got the latest and greatest when it comes to our equipment, our terminals. We've invested millions of dollars the last 2 years.
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, getting our terminals up to where they need to be. Private showers, very, very nice facilities. So
open markets. It's just, it's amazing to be part of Swift right now. Let's jump to the next question. Why are some new drivers waiting for mentors? I'll take that one, Jim. So that's a great question. We do have a lot of people coming into the industry. There isn't a very long wait. Sometimes it's just a couple days, but it's sometimes about getting the right person matched with the right mentor, right? Whether it's male with male, female with female, or sometimes it's male with female, but also smoker, non-smoker. You never know, right? And where you're located. So hopefully you're not waiting too long at all on that.
And if you are, if you feel like you might have fallen through the cracks, make sure you call us, raise your hand, because the goal is not to let that happen. But I'll tell you, we're not perfect, right? So it's sometimes things fall through the cracks, and it could be a case where somehow you fell off the radar and somebody's not aware you're waiting for a mentor. So if you feel like you've been waiting for 3, 4, 5 days, no one's calling you, no one's texting you, speak up, and let's make sure we know what we're doing.
Definitely get with your DQ staff. So after 5 or so years, can we pick one holiday a year to take off?
You don't have to wait 5 years.
You don't have to wait 5 years at all.
Yeah. You can wait 5 days, in my opinion. We don't have a home time policy at Swift. Now, if you're on a dedicated run, there's going to be expectations, right? So say if you're running a dedicated run where you're hauling groceries, an example, right? On the big holidays, 4th of July, etc., there's a huge demand. Groceries go through the roof, like 4th of July when everyone's barbecuing out. So there could be expectations if you're on a dedicated fleet like that, that you have to work certain holidays. But for the most part, feel free. You just work through your driver leader and you get that schedule no different than any other day you want to
But
take off.
you know that pretty much up front. They kind of explain the account. So here's one. Can we get Wi-Fi or hotspots on our Zonar? Some places may not have adequate personal phone service that would come in handy. So we are looking at, it wouldn't be through Zonar, but we are looking through our carriers and trying to leverage our relationships there. We're talking through it with a couple of our larger carriers on some jet packs and some things like that we're working on. So I would say more to come on that.
Yeah, and one problem with the Zonar is it's cell service based. So if you're in an area like I know the Northwest has a lot less cell service than most regions, if you're not getting cell service on your cell phone, there is a chance we're not going to get service on the Zonar.
Definitely. Okay, is there any way that Swift can start trying to get more flatbed freight to the Dakotas on Montana so I can switch to flatbed?
Good question. I would probably defer you to a guy named Chris Strown here in Phoenix, and Chris would have the answer to that. So my guess is there's probably not a whole lot going in or out of the Dakotas. And Montana, I don't really know. I don't have a feel for Montana, but Chris Strown, I guarantee you would know. So if you want to reach in, to Chris, he's here in Phoenix. He can definitely answer that question for you.
Definitely. Can we get trucks designed with married team drivers in mind?
I recognize the name. So Colette had asked some questions on the last live deal that I did with Adam and Kevin. So her question, if I remember right, was around wanting a big refrigerator and then eliminating the top bunk. And so if I remember right, I took those questions and talked about how our trucks are ordered standard. And so, we need to have the top bunk in there. Part of that's for training, part of that's for resale. But I guess we could look to see, is there any trucks that are designed where we could do something different where, we've got a good husband-wife team that makes sense to do a modification that we could then modify before we turn around and sell it 4 years later.
Definitely. Part of the refrigerator part is that you have to modify some of the cabinetry. So we'll definitely have to look into that. Colette, I'll write your name down and get with you next week on this. How about, can we have a question and answer forum just on Zonar?
I think we did that one time already, but we probably should do it again because I know, we continue to roll those out, continue to install them. That's a really good point. So we'll have Jim Field lead that. We've done that in the past, and I think that's probably worth doing right now every, once a month or, maybe every couple months at a minimum.
I've got both of those wrote down. Then communication is an issue. Can we implement the 15-minute rule? Respond within 15. If we're talking about 15-minute rule, we're always trying to get you the fastest service possible with your driver leader. I can tell you that we work with ECT or driver support staff right now. Our goal is definitely a 15-second answer time, and that we're responding to messages within 15 minutes. So we've put a bunch of headcount into nights and weekends. So along with even part-timers to make sure we're manning the phones at the most optimal times, that 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., 4 a.m. to 10 a.m., so you should see a big change in the phone system there. Here's one, Colette. Why do we use acronyms? Stop. New people don't get it.
IDK.
LOL.
I don't know.
Yes.
It is kind of funny. So at Swift, I don't know how we ever came up with so many acronyms, but there is a million of them. And
Driver
I don't know
Performance Program,
all,
DPP, all that, right?
That's a really good question. I don't know why we don't just say the whole thing. But yeah, point taken. I think we probably ought to do a better job of saying the whole thing, because I know there's a lot of stuff I stop people. I'm like, wait, what does that mean? Then they say it. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I didn't know we abbreviated that. Yeah,
that's a good point. The program to save on health insurance premium is too cumbersome. Can we please change it? Colette, this was you too. I'll make sure when I call you next week, let's just talk through that. Like, what would you like to see changes? It's pretty simple. As far as I've seen, you do your health screening, that you get points for all that, and then you get money back on your health insurance premium. So I'll walk through that with you when I call you. Will Swift ever switch to percentage for owner operator like some other carriers?
So we actually do have some owners that are on a percentage. I know we have some in the Northeast, we have some in California, and I'm not sure if those guys are even still there with all the changes in California and the legal rulings there. And we try to do what's a fair compensation for the owners. Right now we're not looking at going to a percentage, but I definitely won't tell you that we never will, or that might not come. Might come up again where the timing's right and we switch to that. Yeah, I'm not really sure if like a dedicated, if they run any percentage owner ops or not. But
yeah, I think it's a little bit difficult. I haven't heard of anything, but that doesn't mean in the future.
Yeah. When the market is like it is right now, is when owners want the percentage, right? Because the rates are up. And then when things turn, it could work against you. But, unfortunately right now we're not, dynamic enough to be able to adjust to have it when the market's good and then change back when the market's not, so that the owner's not going backwards.
Well, and right now we have just recently done a pay increase on the owners.
Yeah, we just did 3 cents.
We also did an incentive through the end of the year on mileage. So we're focusing on making sure we're competitive, but we'll have to see where that comes to, right? I think the owner side could put a contract together to solve the issue about having students. If you will call me, so we'll give you a call and talk through that with you. But
yeah, so here's what I would tell you, and I got to kind of be careful what I say. We actually are looking into that right now, to allow owners to become trainers. And so more to come on that. Obviously not an easy hurdle to get over, but we are looking into it as we speak. So.
And I took your driver code down, Mike, so we'll give you a call too. Those of us want to truck but punish for other people's mistakes. I'll wait for a call. The driver shortage isn't getting better, just saying.
I think it's regarding to, we used to allow owners to be mentors, and then we had to stop due to legal reasons that we grandfathered those that were already doing it. But a current owner or a company driver that's a mentor going into an owner-operator truck can't become a mentor or stay a mentor. And so I think that's what he's referring to. But that's what we're looking into right now.
Excellent. The next one's a really good one. Are we getting a pay raise, vacation pay, and maybe relays from point to point so as to have home time? Thanks. I think there's like 3 questions there.
There is.
So we're always trying to keep a competitive pay package. This is a little bit hard to answer only because are you in dedicated? Are you in flatbed? Are you in intermodal? What are you in? There is a pay increase coming in October for over-the-road refrigerated and dry. That'll be pay band increases and some incentives. So we'll be announcing that next week. As far as vacation pay, that is one of the projects I'm working on next with our team. So it's going to be sometime the end of the year, beginning of the year, you'll be able to request and pay your vacation. And we're also reviewing the amounts. And then as far as maybe relays.
And that would be all drivers, right?
That would be all drivers. Yeah. Definitely. And maybe relays from point to point. So
I'm guessing that's more like a express. And so if you're looking for something like that, I'd suggest talk to your driver leader, your fleet leader, terminal leader, see what else is available. There might be something that's, even outside of their line of business. So if you're in line haul now, there could be something in dedicated that would work for you. The express is always a great one. They're just, there's usually a waiting list to get on
yes.
that one and some of these others, but we do have that.
We have about 450, 500 drivers on that, something like that. So Mike Majors, if you take home time, you will lose your pay and ranking. So Mike, this really goes along with the vacation. As we work on this, we are going to work on a proration where if you take vacation, say for instance for this month, we're asking for 9,250 miles on the driver performance program, and you take a vacation, we will prorate that out in the near future. It is take programming right now, and that's what we're working on. So that is part of the vacation pay, and you will see something done with that by the end of the year. So
yeah, and so kind of like make sure we're clear. So the new program we're working towards is if you take a week off, you can request a week of vacation, and
yes.
that way you're not going without pay for that week. So
yes.
Versus today, we pay it on your anniversary.
And if you're taking that week, there'll be 2 different ways you can request and just get paid your vacation and still work. That wouldn't be prorated, but if you request and actually you're taking your vacation, hey, I'm going on a cruise, we'll make sure we get your driver performance prorated. All right. What can be done during Driver Appreciation Week for us night drivers who can't make it to a terminal for the festivities? Well, we thought we did something here this week. Tuesday through Thursday at all the terminals, we have food trucks there from 6 to 8 p.m. So that was something we added to this. If that's not getting the night drivers, then please give your terminal leadership feedback, because we kind of have a review of how things went with all the terminal leaders to see how we can improve for next year.
Yeah, and it might be, if it's say it's a group of intermodal drivers or whatever it might be that you guys work at the graveyard or whatever shift it might be, then maybe that's something where we need to do something outside of the normal deal just to take care of that driver, that group of drivers.
Excellent. A couple more questions, and then we'll get to the live questions in YouTube and Facebook. Okay. Could we get a dedicated flatbed on-site manager? Okay. Let's see here. Builds. You want to take that one?
Well, it's complaining about an on-site leader, but
Yeah.
It's anonymous and we don't know where. So, again, we love feedback, right? Good and bad, because that's how we get better. So if you've got, if there is somebody that's doing a bad job, if we don't know about it, we can't fix it in a lot of cases. So I would suggest talking, to somebody higher up. So, look at the hierarchy. If you're, wanting to make a complaint about an on-site leader, I guarantee you they're reporting to a regional manager. You can just ask around, get that name, and then,
Definitely.
get your beef out. But we want to hear that stuff, because that's how we get better.
Definitely. Okay. Why can't we have flatbed spec Volvos instead of Kenworths for those of us who routinely deliver to places who should really have a cab over deliver to? I think that's another one where they just really need to talk through with Chris Drone or Kirk Williams. Give them the feedback, and I'm sure those folks will take it forward to spec some of those. I don't think it's a big deal to put a headache rack on a Volvo.
Well, and I'm not sure the last time I've seen a new cab over in America. So if you're looking for a cab over, that might be a challenge. I don't think they make those anymore in the U.S.
Well,
now a day cab would be an option, but
I think what they're talking about is the Volvo kind of has a little bit of a shorter nose, and maybe today I was told it has a better turning radius. I'm sure whoever I talk to might change their mind, but
we could definitely get Volvos into the flatbed if that would be something that works. But if it's a cab over you're looking for, I don't think we can do that.
Definitely. All right. I think that's all the questions that were submitted. Now let's see here. We've got a few.
Good.
Do you have anything that would run the lower half of the United States?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, so we've got different regional fleets. We got comfort zones. I don't know as far as like an I-10 fleet. I don't know that we have that. But I know we have like Western 11. We've got I-35. There's all these different fleets that run within different regions. So, ask your driver leader. If they don't know, ask your terminal leader, and let's find out if there's something that would be a better fit for you.
Excellent. This is always a tough one because there's a lot of different angles here, right? What are some of the highest paying team accounts? That's kind of a loaded question, right? Because a lot of it is making sure you're available, making sure you're ready to run. Our team accounts, we've got a lot of team accounts that do really well. So it's really about making sure that you're accepting all loads, go everywhere, and I think you'll get the miles as a team.
No, definitely.
Dover Trans, what is the load, or what it says? What is the load board coming out, or when?
Gotcha. Yeah. When.
So I did talk to Brett Stewart today. He will have updates for everybody at some point next week. He's working on that. That's his biggest project. So we'll have updates coming soon.
Yeah, and that's been one of those projects where it sounded a lot easier than it is to actually get it done. So that's been something that it's just been dragging on. It feels like for a year now. Where
easy say, hard do.
I remember saying Andy Meyer can't retire until he gets it done.
We shouldn't have let him.
We shouldn't have let him go. But here we are, still fighting. I don't think it was Andy. It just it's a lot of technology, a lot of program, a lot of IT work that has to go into some of these changes.
Pretty complicated.
Yeah, but we are working on it, so it will happen. So hang in there, because that's going to be a huge benefit.
So here's a good one from Jim. When are we getting the retrofitted suspension dumps?
Yeah, so some trucks were already doing it. Now, the biggest issue right now has been, again, the part shortage. So it's like, I don't care what it is you're trying to buy these days. It seems like there's a shortage of everything. I don't remember. There's two brands that were very expensive to retrofit. I don't know if you know which two they are.
I have them wrote down in my office.
I do too. I want to say it was Volvo and one other, and then there's two others that are very cheap. And so those, we're doing as we get the parts. The problem has been the parts. So
the biggest thing I would say is just as you go through and do your B service, ask them to put that in, right? And we're looking at the trucks that are 20s and 21s. We're not going any further back.
Right.
So, because those trucks are going to be traded.
Good point.
So just talk to your service leader, talk to your terminal leader, and we'll work through those.
Yeah, and keep asking until you get it.
Yes. When does the Vegas terminal open?
Yeah, so actually I just got an update on that yesterday. So the underground is done. They should be starting doing the paving or concrete, whatever they're doing there in the next month. And so we're shooting for early of 2022. So not too long, and that thing's going to be done. Now, right now, again, there's a shortage of the steel because that building's going to be a steel building. And I guess they're struggling to get enough steel to make the building. And so that's probably going to end up being our biggest delay is waiting on the actual steel to build the building there.
And then you're going to need the microchips that go in the doors and everything
Exactly,
that opens them, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah.
One thing after another.
2022, beginning, we'll say.
Yep. But we are actually going to start early. So whether we have a terminal or not, we're actually going to start running a Vegas terminal out of a hotel room if we have to, starting in 2022. So
awesome.
We will have a terminal there one way or another.
Same with Mobile?
Same thing, yep. We're
okay.
kind of on the same path. Mobile will be a little bit quicker because we're going to start off with just putting portable trailers on that facility. So that one for sure will be done by the first of the year. Vegas will be an actual terminal, actual building. So that's where the delays are coming from.
Well, and we're getting a big upgrade in Houston, too.
Houston, yeah, is under construction. Not sure where we're at on that one, but
I think they're working on the parking lot. Oklahoma City just opened, brand new terminal.
Exactly,
so stop by and see that one. Let's see here. Can you have pets on refrigerated accounts? Rico. We have a dog policy. So 40 pounds or under. I would tell you we're not holding a scale out there going they weigh 41 pounds.
Right.
So we're making common sense decisions. So yes.
And the only caveat to that might be there could be certain food shippers that don't allow animals
that's right.
on property. And so, you'd have to take that up with somebody in the reefer division. They would know that for sure. I'm not aware of any, but there could be, food shippers that just don't allow that.
I remember some food grade facilities that you couldn't go into if you didn't have all the special stuff and no pets.
We need to make sure it's the difference of taking your dog into the facility versus leaving your dog in the truck while you walk inside to get your paperwork or whatever. So I would ask the question.
Maverick. I always wanted to be called Maverick. I wish they would have changed my name. Good old Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
So Maverick, do you have home time daily or weekly guaranteed options for new CDL drivers? So really the home time policy is we don't have a policy, right? We're going to make that common sense decision to get you where you need to go for your life events. Guaranteed in trucking, I don't know that there's a certain guarantee. We have a lot of different accounts. Things happen, trucks break down, but we're going to get you there when you need to be. You can follow up with our placement team if you're currently employed with us. If you're not employed with us, I'd follow up with the recruiter to see what opportunities we have out there.
But to that point, we do have a lot of accounts that are home daily or weekly.
Oh, definitely.
Both a line haul and a dedicated. Reefer OTR, reefer dedicated, flatbed dedicated. All those have different varieties. So a lot of that would depend on where you live and then how often those accounts, have you home.
Yep. So BB Stacker, what is the age requirement for a ride-along? 12 or older, must have a birth certificate or a photo ID. You fill out a one-page form. It is give or take $2.20 to $23, something like that. And that's just the insurance form that's just a pass through in case you fell out of the truck, fell in a parking lot. But otherwise, we encourage it. The one thing there would be is if you had a really high safety score, say you were brand new, you've had a bunch of different smart drives or something, we wouldn't want that distraction. So otherwise, and we welcome all your riders with you that are 12 or over with all those things. All right. Lindsay, is it possible for owner-operators to come to the office for work? I'm interested in recruiting.
Absolutely.
They're interested in having you, Lindsay.
Yeah, because I think actually we're looking to add some more recruiters right now. So your timing might be really good.
And I would definitely check in with us tomorrow morning. Let's see here. Do you have Okay. Do you have to run teams to go to Vegas? My glasses are getting old, ain't I? Do you have to run teams to go to Las Vegas because I want to run solo and do 34-hour resets there?
There's no reason.
No.
Yeah, solos, teams, it don't matter. So, like you got to be going through there, right? If you're going Phoenix to California, you can't go to a 34 restart in Vegas. But if you're running through Vegas, there's no reason a solo can't do a 34 restart there.
And we haven't really talked about it, but I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of runs that go from Vegas to into LA and back, right?
Oh yeah.
So
there's a lot
T-call in Vegas, let them deliver the load. That's great. So, all right. Do you think Swift would do a work boot allowance or free pair of boots every year? I know some companies do.
I remember years ago, I don't remember what that was called, but we did a program where we were giving out free boots. You remember that? It was probably 7-8 years ago or something. It's been a while, but I remember we did a program. That's a good idea. We got to look into that again. And the reason we did that was it was helping with work comp claims of people rolling their ankles, getting in and out of the truck. So it's a good.
I definitely wrote it down. I know there's a work boot program with our mechanics, so maybe we could just piggyback off that.
Yeah, and I think Flatbed might even do something different, but we did do a thing with all drivers years ago, and I think it was fairly successful.
Perfect. All right. Are the Million Mile and Driver drivers going to have their dinner parties this year?
Well, I hope so, because this stupid COVID keeps canceling all the fun stuff at Swift. Including driver appreciation can't be what we want it to be because of COVID and trying to keep
it down.
Social distancing. So, we it's a very fine line there where we have to obviously be compliant with whether it's state, city, county requirements when it comes to COVID. But we are trying to do the best we can to not go overboard and just shut everything down. So I guess more to come on that. If you see COVID case count going back down again, like it was for a while before it spiked back up, then absolutely. But where it's at today, I don't feel like it'd be the right decision to bring people in. Some people get to fly in, put people in an airplane and then have everyone in the same room for hours. Probably wouldn't be the best decision right now with COVID count where it's at. So more to come on that, but trust me, we can't wait to get back to doing that.
Definitely. Mo, Maryland, how long is training with a mentor?
Kind of depends, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So I always tell everybody that jumping in a vehicle or in a truck and driving down the road 11 hours a day sounds like, hey, I could do it because I can do it in my car. But it does take building some of that muscle memory and some of that tolerance. So it's really about how many hours can you drive and how fast are you learning. So the biggest thing we're looking for is to make sure that you understand what you're doing. We've given you a good mentor experience. So I would say 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's really more of a proficiency, than it is, a certain amount of hours on a week's in the truck. So
definitely, we want everybody to feel comfortable. Okay, so Charlie, one of our moderators here, says, I saw a question in the groups that says Swift pays vets more, and the commenter feels it's not true. What is the vet program? Well, I can't give you all the full details of the vet program, but we do give you vested time for being in the military. We do have a recruiter that's specific just for vets. His name's Bart. So I would ask you, if you call into our recruiting department, they can give you all the details. We also have a reimbursement program for vets where we pay for schooling. There's a lot of incentives for our vets. We appreciate your service.
Yep, we got a big banner right here behind us. You can't see it, but it's we proudly support our troops. So, you're wrong camera, yeah.
Wrong camera, can't do that.
That's all right. Just trust me, it's there.
It's there.
If you saw the video earlier today, we had the Army here and did a signing in front of this banner. But yeah, so I guess to your point, Charlie, and Charlie is on here quite a bit. There you go. We do try to take care of our veterans, absolutely.
And we just signed a deal with Army Pays today, so definitely looking to bring in lots of veterans. Let's see here. When can lease operators with 10 plus years and 1 million plus safe miles be bumped to 75 miles an hour?
Yeah, right now I would tell you that's not on the table. We haven't talked about it. I would tell you nothing's ever officially off the table, right? Because there's been a lot of stuff over the years that 3 years ago we might have said there's no way we could do that, and then today we're doing it. So today I would tell you we're not looking at doing that, but to your point, 10 plus years, million plus safe miles, you obviously know what you're doing out there. It could be something that we figure out making exceptions for drivers like that.
Excellent. All right, Marcia Smith. When you re-op fuel, why does ECT always say when you get to the truck stop, get COM data code and call back? There are sites for ECD to find the code instead. Well, it's sometimes they change. It's confusing. Do we know exactly which one you're going to? Most places have truck stops all in the same area. That's probably some of the excuses, but otherwise,
I don't know. So that's a good question, but to me that feels like a waste of time. But
yes,
maybe we got to ask Ramon how that works. Ramon leads our ECT nationwide, but we ought to probably ask him how that works and make sure we don't have a breakdown in the process where people think the driver's got to verify, where if we have the code, I don't see why we wouldn't just open it.
We would just open it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will put that on my remote. Okay. Let's see. When is corporate going to address the trailer shortage in the Northeast? They have been leasing way too many trailers. Not enough trailers over here.
Let's find out. I don't know, but I haven't heard that complaint yet. But I know this time of year is when we get into a lot of trailer leasing. There's a lot of activity going on with fourth quarter with our big shippers. So trailers tend to tighten up, now through, call it the middle of December, and then they free back up again. So it could just be that seasonal crunch we have going on, but we need to make sure we got enough to, support our drivers, support our customers, and take care of the lease agreements.
Well, and we're still 3 or 4 to 1, right?
Yeah, we're almost 4.
We've got quite a few trailers. So
it just might not be in the right area. Yeah.
Sometimes they get out of whack. Do dedicated drivers who get 1 million miles get a new truck?
It's right up your alley.
That depends.
We just had a conversation yesterday in here about that.
If it's not a day cab and it's not something that you're home every night, if you're truly dedicated, running regional over the road, yes, we're ordering those trucks. There is the shortage with microchips and things like that are delaying some of our truck orders. We're seeing anywhere from 3 to 6 months on truck orders right now. So, but yes, call in, get with your on-site. They can call us. They should have the samples at all of our terminals where you can pick your colors and we'll get it ordered.
Yep.
Pretty simple. Victor Jackson, is the company store open in Phoenix?
Not yet. I was just out there maybe 3 weeks ago. It's coming along. The whole driver center, if you haven't been here, is being completely revamped, remodeled. It'll be awesome when it's done. It's going to have a gym, tons of private showers. Be a very, very nice facility. A little movie theater. The haircut salon's coming back, so it's going to be very nice when it's open. And part of that is having a store back in that building. So
yes,
that will be coming back at some point.
And we're also really working on some online store things right now. So more to come on that. But I think you should see a lot of changes in our clothes, or like this is one of the new shirts. Different people rather than an old guy like me designing it, right? Something a little more hip.
Right. No more pockets.
No, yeah.
At least an option not to have a pocket.
So when is Swift going to help people with their permits again? So I don't know exactly what they're asking.
Right. The name next. There should be no reason we're not helping you with the permits. So we need to find out more specifically what that means. But
so there is something that we're working on. And let me just write this down, permits. We're working on a new system that will be rolling out sometime in October that's called Flow Codes. You'll be able to scan these codes and you're going to have access to permits. We're going to load them in there. So 90% of our permits can be digitized and the DOT will accept them. So that way it makes it more convenient for the terminals. It makes it more convenient for you. Next week, after we get past this Driver Appreciation Week, we've already got meetings scheduled with permits, how we can get all those online for you. So more to come on that.
But in the meantime, nothing's changed, right? We still have our permit department. We're here to take care of the drivers needing a permit. So we'll find out more on that one specifically.
Excellent. Nicholas Bannister, can we have mentors certify yearly? Well, we do our training with them when they first come on. We are going through our systems right now to really be able to measure our mentors, to understand retention, how they're doing with their students, upgrade percentages. So I would say there's lots of projects going on with us right now, but that's one of them that we're working on. We do have a new tablet road test, your VIP paperwork and upgrade. We're working on putting that on a tablet too. So a lot less paperwork and more streamlined into the 21st century here.
Right.
All right. Voice your choice. That's all we see. We're a comment there. I would ask that you voice your choice anywhere you go. We are very much data driven. Sometimes before, I think it was sometimes the loudest voice got some of the what they wanted, right?
Past, yep.
Now with the surveys, voice your choice. We're watching all of those different avenues. We're making decisions off what we're hearing from the whole group of drivers.
And that's sometimes it probably feels like we overwhelm you with asking for your feedback and sending out surveys, but trust me, every one of those gets looked at. And so, and what that does is it builds a pattern of pain points. And so when we see pain points, that's where we go, spend our time, spend our money trying to fix those pain points.
Well, I see I got one of our characters that I hunt with, Amos here. He said, how can I start getting loads out of the Little Debbie factory? So I think my buddy's got some jokes on there. Ha funny, Amos. All right. Bernard, why don't we just get a Walmart card for appreciation, maybe to help with food or other essentials? I think it's more than just giving you a Walmart card, right? It's really about that connection with you. We want to break bread. We want to spend time, get to know you, get to know your families, bring your families in. It's very impersonal to just hand you a card. So that's why we have all the Swift swag, and we have different gifts each year. We've got comforters that you should be able to get at every terminal. And then we have seat cushions that are coming. That was from feedback from all of our drivers. Overwhelmingly, they wanted this big fancy seat cushion for their trucks. So that'll be the Christmas gift.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed if somebody can't get through a terminal all week long, like they just were busy working and they couldn't get through a terminal. That's when you need to talk to your terminal leader, because hey, we'll make an exception there and hook you up with something to make up for it.
Definitely. So, Michael, what do you think of the drivers that haven't been home since the COVID-19? Well,
they haven't been home at all?
I would hope if they wanted to go home, they would have gone home. We have a whole home time team now. That's something we haven't talked about. We've taken a large number of people, pull them out of their everyday duties, and all they do is focus on getting drivers home. We realized that driver home time was one of the top 3 reasons that drivers say they get upset. So we've really focused on that. We're in the high 90s or mid 90s to high 90s. It fluctuates on getting drivers home. So we're doing a lot better. I would say if you haven't been home, you want to get home.
Well, and I'm just kind of wondering if Michael maybe is one of these drivers that's just been out there working like nonstop for a year and a half. So if that's what you've been doing, hey, hats off to you, because obviously you're needed out there, right? Like I remember going back to March of 2020 when this thing first started, and it was like we needed essential workers, right? We needed truck drivers getting product out there, and it's kind of weird to think here we are all the way into late 21, and it hasn't slowed down. I mean, it's got more normal, but I can tell you yesterday I went into a big box retailer doing some shopping for the house, and they were limiting to 2 cases of water, 1 case of toilet paper, 1 case of toilet paper towel. So the shortage, or what you want to call it, isn't completely over, and so
it's not. Drivers
that are out there are still making a big difference.
Here's a really good one that I just wrote it down. Can we see about a water machine so we can refill our gallon water bottles at each terminal?
Good idea, yeah.
That's a great idea.
A great idea, yeah.
So definitely we'll address that. I was told by my DM there is no in the office from 5 to 6:30 on the GP account out of Memphis. Why is that? I would ask your leader. It's the driver leader. Maybe somebody isn't there because we don't know that there's so many different lines of business or different accounts. We're there to support you. You could still call our ECT at night, 24/7, 365. So,
and it could be that it's handled by somebody else in a different terminal during that time. So, if you haven't asked, make sure you do ask. But I can't imagine we'd have, 90 minutes of having no coverage at all on any fleet. So that wouldn't make sense to me.
Let's see here. Oh, is my I think my computer is giving the light like it's getting ready to die. This is
you didn't charge it before this?
I thought I did. Okay, Tim Humble for Driver Appreciation Week. Any idea the cost per driver? Meaning, what is the average investment per driver when they plan driver appreciation? We never really broke it down by that. In fact, Jim, if you'll keep on answering, I'm just going to grab my charger so we can keep going.
We don't want to go dark here. Yeah, we don't know the answer to that one. So I guess good question. You stumped us.
We spend hundreds of thousands, though.
All right. Here's a question. Can I start on a dedicated account from the get-go, or do I need OTR first? So we do both. So if you want to start on dedicated, there's a lot of openings in dedicated where you can go right into those. We even do training on most of the dedicated accounts where a new driver comes in, does the training as a student, and then upgrades to solo and stays on that same dedicated account. So in the old days, and maybe that's where that's coming from, we used to require sometimes like 6 months, 9 months, whatever, on over the road before you can move into dedicated. That's all changed. So absolutely, you could go right in.
All right. So have terminal leaders advise drivers future events. I think what they're saying is Paula's talking about have terminal leaders interact with drivers more.
Yeah, hopefully they are, right? I mean, obviously, we've still got a business to run this week, but you'll never hear me complain about a terminal leader spending the majority of their day out, talking to drivers, during this week, especially. Really, any day, in my opinion, but this week especially. So hopefully that's not happening across the board, and hopefully it's an isolated event where we're not doing that.
Definitely, and I've got Ramon texting me now, so
good. All right.
He's going to answer those drivers. He's all over it. Let's see here. Will there be flatbed in Houston terminal?
Currently, we don't have a flatbed presence out of the Houston terminal. Now, if you've been there, we're very restricted. That one we actually are out of a little trailer right now, so we probably don't have the room to do anything there. But I'm not sure. That'd probably be a Chris Stroud or Kirk Williams question if there's plans to expand that in the future. None that I'm aware of right now, though. Might be later down the road once we get our new terminal built.
Definitely. So Tim Humble, I heard a rumor that pets are allowed on some mentors' trucks. Is that true?
Here's what I'll tell you. We make a lot of exceptions, right? I hate black and white rules. I like gray, and we try to have a lot of gray at Swift. So if you've got a dog and it's friendly, if you got one of these Chihuahuas that's wanting to kill everyone but the owner, then obviously no. But if you got a friendly dog, we'll look at making an exception for you. We definitely have done it in the past. And
we'll talk to the student. It's really about, hey, do we have two people that are willing to deal with whatever that situation is with a dog? Like I said, it could be
for a lot of people that prefer to have a dog in the truck, as a student.
All right. Why can't we get fuel in Laredo terminal anymore?
Good question. I don't know. We'll have to find
Write that
out.
down. Laredo fuel.
I'm guessing the pumps must be down or some other issue, but I can't imagine.
They are doing a big remodel there, though, so maybe that's part of it.
The fuel element would be part of that, but I don't know. Maybe.
Wish you had heavy haul oversized on the East Coast. I don't see that coming anytime soon.
No, we do heavy haul oversized. We really don't do a whole lot of, right? We do a little bit here and there in flatbed, but for the most part, the heavy haul we do is in the Northwest. With the Costco fleet up there, but with flatbed, we try to keep it. A little more on the vanilla side than some of these other carriers that have extreme heavy loads and extreme overwides with pilot vehicles.
I think you just have the roads laid out better in the West too, right?
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier, and a lot safer in the West than is the East. But yeah.
So let's see, LaShawn. After training, do we go straight on the road or can we go home first?
Up to you.
Definitely. Now we do want to get you in your truck though, so you know exactly what you're coming back to. Get your stuff in it. Sometimes not even sometimes, most of the time they take their truck home so they can load up their gear, share it with their family. Yeah. So both, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Will there ever be a speed increase?
Right now we're not looking at one, at least not that I've heard discussed. So I don't think we are. But I would tell you, possibly. So.
Nick Bannister's asking, how do we get on the mentor roundtable? The mentor roundtables that I'm hearing about is more that our terminal leaders are organizing this in your terminal. So Nick, whatever terminal you're out of, I would get with your terminal leader. I think it's a great idea that they get all their mentors on the phone. It's usually once a month. So if you had 20 mentors, sometimes it's only 10, but they just discuss best practices. So get with your terminal leadership. They're working on those now in a lot of terminals.
That's a cool idea.
Robert's asking, are you giving out watches after 5 years of employment? Yes, that is part of the road to recognition. You get to choose a citizen, 2 different kinds of citizen watches. They're really nice. So yes, definitely, it's on the road to recognition.
Let me just ask. So say if a driver has been here 7, 8 years, 10 years, and so they obviously we weren't doing this when they hit their 5-year milestone. What are you doing for that driver?
So we didn't go backwards on any of the drivers. It's really about going forwards. And we started this program back in 19. So we're still awarding those drivers. If somebody is, if they're retiring, we'll make an exception. There's right. That gray area. It's common sense.
I like putting Ken on the spot, by the way. So if you really want that watch and you've been here for a long time,
we'll walk through
Ken
it.
McBee.
We'll walk through it. Yeah, it's not a big deal. All right. So is Swift ever considered food grade tankers?
No, not that I know. But I've been here 28 years. We've never looked at it. That's a whole different beast. You have to have a separate division. Now, what I would tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if one day we bought a food grade tanking company, but that would be ran completely separate, right? So it's kind of like a company like, say, Bar None or some of these other companies, Abilene, AAA, where they're owned by Knight Swift Holding Company, but they're ran completely separate. Kind of like Knight Swift are still ran, completely separate.
Awesome. Let's see here. When are we going to focus on the training of mentors? Yeah, current system is giving us poor quality newer drivers, and it's because mentors are way too focused on miles versus skills. I have to disagree a little on this one because, Mike, I think there's any instance that you maybe could say something like that could happen randomly, but otherwise, we've got some of the safest drivers in the nation.
Well, and our safety stats get better and better.
We're in the top 15%.
Every month. So, and the data shows our students that come through the program are the safest drivers we have. So they're even at a lower percentage, if you were to pull them out separately.
And you've got some great technology in these trucks with the lane mitigation systems, the progressive cruises, all the things that are safety. Heck, I got in, it's been 20 years since I drove a truck, Jim, and I had to move some of the trucks around, and I'm like, how do I put this thing in gear? It was new, so it's been a while. So we are focused on the mentor program, though. Over the next 6 months, Dave Tillman, Jordan Bean, our group is really looking through how we digitize some of it, but also how we improve the training, how we maybe lay it out for you too. So if you not getting what I'm saying on the setup for the backup, hey, you got a button hook and then back in, we'll have some videos that you can watch, and you can watch on your tablet. So a lot of different training coming for our mentors and students.
Yeah, we even have a program right now called Top Gun that we've been experimenting with it. It's been very successful. We're going to continue to roll that out. But it's a little more intense training the first week, where a lot of it's done. It's simulator and then out to the range, back into the classroom, back on the simulator, back out to the range. So what I would tell you is, I feel our training is best in class. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to have, a few bad apples out there, right there. So if we do have that, where somebody is more worried about running miles than doing a good job being a trainer or a mentor, we need to know about it, because those are the ones we're looking for. We don't want them in our program.
Definitely. Man, it's already 50 minutes. We got about 5 to 10 left. We get to the end here. Can we get wrap trucks and flatbed? I just talked to them the other day. They talked about some partial wraps. I would say get with Kirk Williams, Chris Drone, put some pressure on them. I think they had some thoughts on what they could do with flatbed. Let's see here. For us million-mile contractors with old trucks, any chance of cutting us a deal on paint job or maybe a full wrap deal?
Yeah. Charlie, I'll get with you. I know Charlie, so I'll get with you and find out. I know we've been kind of experimenting. Brett Stewart's been working with the body shop. They've done some, wraps. They've wrapped, some bumpers. They put some decals. So I think, our body shop's kind of getting that figured out. There definitely might be a way. 'Cause I know if you were to just go to a normal shop, it costs you way more money than it's worth. But let me find out what we could do, at our facilities, especially if they got some downtime certain times of the year. It might make sense to allow them to do that at, cost or cost plus.
Excellent. Well, here's a good one. Richmond Terminal hasn't gotten the comforters. Yes, we know. Richmond and West Valley City. West Valley City, I think, got like 90 of them. The way this came in, because of these super ships that we were trying to get unloaded, we had some delays. The LTL carrier we use for to ship all this stuff out, because it was LTL, didn't get our stuff. It's sitting in North Carolina. And then our West Valley City stuff is supposed to be delivered tomorrow. There's terminals there's comforters at all the other terminals, and you can go through any terminal to pick up a comforter, or those terminals will have them by the end of the week. Richmond actually might be Monday.
Yes, if you haven't got it and you don't get it this week, don't worry. We will make sure you still get one. Just ask us about it.
We ordered plenty.
And right now you can probably find somebody in Phoenix that doesn't want a comforter at 110 degrees.
I think they're the wind shades, or what do they call those? They're
exactly.
We use them to cover up in Denver and Richmond, but here we use them for shade. All right. Robert says, and free coffee at all terminals, just like Willows has.
Write that down. I thought we had free coffee at all terminals. If we don't, we will, because we definitely should have that.
That goes with the water machine and a few other things.
I just verified in Phoenix that it's free a few weeks ago when I was out there.
Okay, so just to give a big shout out to the most awesome terminal manager, Kirk Arnold, Gary Terminal, and his team. They really take care of us. Great job, Gary.
Very cool.
Terminal, right?
Yep.
Kirk's
been here a long time.
He has.
A lot of our leaders have.
That's awesome. Let's see. I would love to see more terminals have truck washes. We've invested a lot actually in this lately. There's 6 terminals that we've upgraded the truck wash. One of them's Edwardsville, Memphis, Atlanta. Jurupa has full-time washers there. Phoenix. So we're putting them in where we have them. Otherwise, some of it is about room and location, plumbing, all that. So as we remodel all these terminals, if the option's there, we're putting those truck washes in. All right. Can owner ops get a new winter jacket? I don't know. James?
Did we give away jackets?
We gave away, so for the Million Mile folks, they have nice.
Those are nice jackets.
Yes, nice lightweight jackets. So I would say there's all kinds of stuff on the company store, or you can contact Brett Stewart. I'm sure he'll work through it. Is Swift looking into paying our mechanic and trailer mechanics better? Without these guys, we can't keep them rolling.
Yeah, that's a fact, right? We got to have our mechanics. I don't know. I'm not over the shop at all, so I don't have a feel for where their pay's at or what's on the table or not on the table. So I can't really answer that one.
Yes. So let's see here. My driver leader is great. My brother passed away from COVID last week. He had me home and was very supportive. Family indeed. That is something that I love about this company is even though we're a billion-dollar company, it is very family-oriented, right? And we've got these pockets of family at each terminal. And I remember from being a terminal leader, that was the most rewarding part is because all the births, deaths, everything that you went through is like you had that huge family.
Yeah.
So we had this great group of kids and adults. And so we're glad they took care of you, but very sorry to hear about the passing of your brother. That's horrible. So
just a reminder, everybody else out there, you got to take this COVID serious, whether you like it or not, it's here and it seems like it's here to stay. So, continue to use best practices to protect yourself.
Well, and that brings up a good point that I've heard a lot of people talking about is the forcing of the shot, things like that. Can you give us any insight where we're at?
So our stance is still the same, right? We're not requiring the vaccine. Now, if Biden gets his way and that happens where companies with 100 or more employees have to either, your employees have to be vaccinated or tested weekly. if that gets passed, then we'll have to do that. But we would have the option, so vaccinated or weekly test. Now, when it comes to that point, we won't have a choice, right? Because it's going to be federally mandated, and it's going to be managed and administered by OSHA, and so they've got a very good way of keeping track of that. So at this point, we're not doing it. If everyone has to do it, then we're going to have to do it.
All right. Oh,
Chris Russet.
Chris Russet. Ken, are you excited about your upcoming ride-along? So as part of this, you did a ride-along.
Yep.
Our CEO, our CFO, President, CFO, Adam Miller did a ride-along. Our EVP, Ray Cruz, did a ride-along. Yep. So it's my turn coming up in the hopper.
All right.
And Chris is committed to make sure he runs me through the ringer on this. So
run him hard, Chris.
Yes. All right. I'm going to school with y'all. How long will it take to start getting paid? On the school piece, this one is one I don't know as much about. So you go through the school.
Soon as you become a student,
yes.
You start $800 a week. So as soon as you get out of school and you assuming you sign on with Swift and you start working, it's $800 a week when you first get with a mentor.
And then the great thing about that is now, after you upgrade from past the student, it's $1,000 a week guaranteed for 6 months.
Yep.
And then here shortly, in October, we'll be announcing, so I guess I'm letting it out a little early, that if after 6 months, it'll start with a 5. So pay will be 50 cents or more for those over-the-road refrigerated dry drivers.
Yeah. Yep.
So great.
Yeah. So we just keep working on it. I think some drivers probably think we're not trying to do anything to make Swift better. Hopefully the majority realize that we continue to try to make Swift better and better and better, and we keep trying to make more and more changes that make things better, and obviously pay is one of those components.
So we got 2 last questions we'll take here, and now that washers and dryers are free at terminals, who do we contact when they are broken down? So great question. Part of this flow code project that we're working on is you'll be able to scan that and report it right to facilities. So that's coming soon. Otherwise, you can send something to facilities at swifttrans.com and just put in the terminal and all the details. They'll get to it now, but we have some new technology coming in the near future for that. Last one is, I have 1 million miles, no violations. Will we have an option for manual transmission again?
Unfortunately, manual transmissions are kind of a thing of the past. So, a lot of that has to do with resale, right? So as we buy trucks, trade trucks every 4 years, you got to buy a truck that's going to be hot in the market 4 years from now when we go to sell it. And so everyone's going away from the manual. I know there's still some diehards out there. I guess if you're an owner or you want to become an owner, you could always get your own truck and you could do a manual transmission.
Excellent. Well, I know we didn't get to every question out there, but we'll try to answer more throughout the week. We'll send messages, responses to you. Just otherwise, I'd like to say thank you to all the drivers for everything you do. It definitely takes a village to get this done, and we appreciate all your hard work. Hopefully you make it through our terminals or locations to enjoy Driver Appreciation Week.
Yep.
And thanks for being here.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all the hardworking men and women out there that make this country stay alive basically by the hard work. Whether you're driving, you're working in the shop, working in the office, it can count. Like your point, it takes a village. It takes everyone working together. But to me, there's probably not a harder job out there than your over-the-road truck driver that's going out for a week or two at a time. Staying away from the wife, the kids, whatever family you have at the house there. So really, hats off to all of you that continue to do that week after week, month after month. You're the ones that keep this country alive. So thank you.
You are our essential heroes.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Thank you.